Hello, this is Harry Watt of North Carolina State University Wood Products Extension. This is the National Firewood Workshop 2021. We're hosted by the Tennessee Division of Forestry, and this session is about arborists and getting into the firewood business. Arborists typically generate a lot of woody materials. They want something to do with it. It costs money to take it to the landfill. So I'm going to share with you a slideshow that I put together just to hit on some of the high points of the issues that arborists get into when they try to get into the firewood business. We are supported financially by the Wood Education Center of Princeton, West Virginia, which is part of the U.S. Forest Service. We have a media sponsor, which is Sawmill Magazine of Maine. We are hosted by the Tennessee Division of Forestry, and cooperating with us is the Virginia Division of Forestry and the North Carolina Forest Service. Just to notice here that our work was funded. Here's our grant number for this grant. If anyone has any concerns or issues or complaints about what we're doing in this grant and how we handle ourselves, you can contact the U.S. Department of Agriculture, the U.S. Forest Service, the Wood Education Center, and also North Carolina State University, where I'm a wood product specialist. Arborists do struggle what to do with all the materials they get when they do a tree job. And a lot of that material is logs, and it's very suitable for firewood. It's not really suitable, especially coming out of home sites, for the sawmill industry, for the general sawmill industry, because of the high cost of blades and other equipment and safety for the workers. So it is possible to take this material and use wood splitters to make firewood. And not only do the logs make firewood, the large limbs can also make firewood. The small limbs are not really suitable. People would rather have split wood than they would round wood for firewood. Firewood does have value, so it does allow the arborist a way to increase sales. The landfills do charge for tipping, and typically there's a lot of transportation also, and landfills are few and far between, and trips to the landfill are long. One problem, if you just pile it up at headquarters for the arborist, well, it just gets in the way, and at some point in time you run out of room. The challenges for an arborist is skilled tree climbers have high labor rates, and they also have high worker comp rates. So that combination makes them sometimes twice as expensive as a general purpose firewood operation employee. Also, the tree climbers often are very much interested in climbing trees, and they're not so interested in running firewood equipment like the processors and dry kilns and the packing line. So if labor is short, it probably makes more sense for the crew in an arborist environment to stay doing arborist work and trying to do something else with the wood that could make firewood. Another problem we have is a lot of the tree jobs generate really large logs, and processors generally, once you start getting above 20 inches in diameter, those large logs don't work well for processors. And part of it is too much horsepower. And with the splitting wedges, especially the 4, 6, 8, kind of off of the center point, generate really large wedge pieces that have to be resplit. So really big wood is not what processors are made for. So we need really to be looking at something else. The best way to tackle the really big logs is to use one of the circle cone splitters and bust up that, say, 30, 40, 50-inch log into quarters or other pieces and then run them through the processor. But still, every year I talk with people, and I do know some arborist companies that do have successful firewood businesses, and it's a companion. And sometimes maybe you should separate it, have it as a separate business, and the two employee groups don't work together because then you got issues of workers' comp and pay. One reason an arborist might think about it is they already have chainsaws, they've got trailers, they got boom trucks, they got a lot of equipment that can be used in the firewood business. They also have to do something, and they've got to get that wood away quick, and they want a quick place to dump it to get rid of it and go back and get another tree job. A lot of arborists say they make money taking the trees down, they lose money with the trees on the ground. So if we're going to do a firewood business, we have a separate crew, we can have a wage that better matches firewood than what a tree service climber might even have. And it's probably easier to find firewood operation workers than it is tree workers that climb trees. They're pretty difficult to get, and they are highly skilled. So if you're an arborist and you're thinking about firewood, you really want to look at all the issues and all the directions. If you move too quick, sometimes you get blindsided by what you didn't see. And you certainly want to work the financial numbers to a deep level. And you have to make sure that you understand that for the most part, unless you really work at it, firewood, it's easier to sell it in the wintertime than it is in summertime. So if you're only doing a seasonal firewood business, you're going to be storing wood half the year and selling wood the other half the year. And do talk to the employees you have in the tree service to see if they're even interested in firewood. And if you look at the tandem trailer there below, that could be a dump trailer. That's an excellent kind of trailer for a small arborist firewood business. That way it can go to somebody's home, get dumped, trailer comes back. The arborist really can't do much of the stacking, carrying in the garages and so forth. Even if you get paid extra, it just ties your men and your equipment up too much. So overall, when you look at arborists getting into firewood, it's really, you have to question whether it's the right thing to do. In a few cases, it may work. In most cases, it doesn't work. You may be better off teaming up with a firewood business where you just give them the wood and they take it. And if you really want to find somebody, find one that will take everything you have in the large limbs and the logs. And you do have to understand exactly what kind of lengths they want and how they want the limbs cut off and so forth, because if the limbs aren't cut properly, they don't run on the processors very well. So it's a lot deeper subject than most people realize. And if I can be any help to anybody in the future, let me know. And here's my contact information. Thank you.